dorks. They didn't understand blacking out and rocking and keeping it real. Well, all their heroes, especially in the old days, and I don't know what's going on now, but at least up until the fucking mid-'90s, the late '90s, all their heroes are complete fucking rocking degenerates behind the scenes.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Today's fans. The problem with today's fans is they've been raised in a society that wants to protect them, and they want to be protected. That's the thing that I'll never get. You know, I think Neil Young maybe said, you know, the police don't. No, I don't want to need the police, and they sure want the same. It's like, yeah, you know, it's like we shouldn't be around cops. You shouldn't want the cops. You should never call the cops for anything, ever. And
absolutely,
these guys, they read shit about you know, somebody getting drunk and blacking out, or somebody taking X and beating up, you know, some cops in Australia, or, you know, doing some wicked shit like that, and they want to fucking crucify them. They want to fucking, you know, narc on them. They think they shouldn't be able to get jobs. They think they should be blacklisted. And, you know, there's one thing about Hogan, you know, saying his prayers and eating his vitamins and shit that, you know, that guy, that was a gimmick. and that's what they want to hold everybody to. They want to hold everybody. They think everybody in wrestling is supposed to be eating their vitamins and not doing steroids and be on the road 300 days a year, and if you can't do that without getting injured, you must be a pussy. Well, what are these people doing? What are they doing? What ring are they getting in? Who are they fighting? You know, they're sitting on their asses watching this shit and then critiquing it. It's
hey, listen, the critiques are what gets me, and I hear most of the critiques from what you tell me, and it's fucking absurd. It's disgusting what I hear. What I hear is a bunch of, like, guys that should be watching Star Trek. Not watching like badass rocker dudes. And let me tell you, and this is what I wanted to get with the Vince McMahon thing. It's like, it just seems like people don't have any concepts of like private situations, because a lot of times you'll find that people that are very rich or very wealthy, they could get any pussy they want, anything like that. A lot of times they go a different direction because they get so bored with get bored with the normal shit. And that's why you hear a lot of this. You hear a lot of this stuff where, like, these dominatrix types will be like, oh, God, I get senators and judges and shit. And it's like, if you have so much power and so much money, you get kind of bored with just a normal chick. Just a normal chick's not going to do it. So what's he do? He gets an entire ring crew full of boys. I mean, I think that's a fairly normal thing for very powerful people to do. I mean, just going back to the Romans and the Greeks and the Egyptians, I mean, that's a pretty normal fucking thing.
Caligula was an alright guy, and he got too much power and said, fuck, I need to become a tyrant. This kind of boring, just being a good leader. You know?
Right. Yeah, the thing about it is even in Roman times as now, that you could do whatever you wanted back then, and people didn't give it. I mean, it wasn't like a thing. No one even gave a shit about what you did, as long as you didn't do it in public. And that's why all these famous people, Tiger Woods, you never knew about all the shit Tiger Woods was up to. And so and nobody cared. Once it became public, then it's a scandal. When things become public, it's a scandal. Tiger Woods could have been fucking 18-year-old boys in his fucking trailer for fucking years. You'd never know it. I mean, there's tons of dudes out there, probably fucking young dudes, fucking boys, fucking guys, doing all kinds of crazy shit you never even think of, and you'll never even know about it because, people circle the wagons in their genres, and people that are very wealthy, very rich, or very powerful aren't bringing that shit up.
I don't often like to bring up any kind of politics, but other than pro wrestling, of course. But you get John Edwards, who gets called out on fathering a child out of wedlock, and he swears up and down, there's no way, and then when he confesses, he makes his right hand man do the confession and apologize for him. It's like, what a fucking turd.
Well, that's it. I mean, that's just it.
It's like leaving him, and he's upset. Like, where's the problem there? It's like, all right, fucking A. Somehow I got rid of you. I got this fucking broad with a kid of mine that wants nothing to do with me, probably. I'm single. I'm free, finally. Like,
yeah, but it turns out, but then it turns out this guy's porking way more than just the chick he had a fucking kid with. He's got other like, young blonde chicks in the wings too, but that's just it. I mean, even with Bill Clinton, you probably never would have known anything about it. And if you never would have known anything about it, you would think he was a squeaky clean, just a virginal rocker, you know what I mean? Until you know something about somebody, you have an impression of them in your head.
Well, that's the thing. It's like everybody, when Dick Cheney accidentally shot his buddy in the face with a bunch of bird shot on a hunting trip, everybody's like, oh, he shouldn't have guns, blah, blah, blah. Shit happens, okay? Every now and then you shoot your friend in the face. Every now and then you fall to the temptation of, some young cunt. That's how it goes.
How could you not, though? That's it. That's just it, though. How could you not? I mean, to me, I'm like, man, I'm like, I'm awesome and I'm glorious and whatnot, but, I mean, even me, throw something at me. I'll probably take it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, give me a break. I'm fucking rocking, keeping it real. But I'm not. I'm also one of those kind of people. I don't want everyone to know about it either. But if everyone finds out about it, and when everyone finds out, I'm like, fuck, that's fucking embarrassing. You know what I mean? But that's kind of the Roman in me, I guess. Or you just keep you do your crazy shit, but you keep it under lock and key. And that's it with these wrestlers. Black Bart, when you watch this Black Bart, and I'm telling everybody, go get that video for Black Bart or fucking Billy Jack Haynes one, and fucking just listen to what these guys are up to. I mean, if you would have looked at Billy Jack Haynes back in the day at WrestleMania 3 and shit, you would think that guy fucking, he couldn't have ever had a drop of booze. I mean, he had to have been eating nothing but chicken and broccoli. I mean, you look at this guy, he's just humongous, and you find out this dude's like a fucking complete degenerate, but the juice, the steroids just fucking made him humongous.
You're going to lose your mind when I tell you another thing that the fucking marks say online. Okay, Black Bart and Billy Jack Haynes, they're detractors. Their detractors can definitely say, like, oh, well, they got nothing to lose. They're lying. They hate Vince McMahon because he fired them and left them on the streets without money, and they're talentless hacks or whatever, because they always think if you're not employed by Vince McMahon, you must have zero talent, when it's generally the other way around. But
yeah, totally. It's totally the other way around.
Here's the reasoning that they say, oh, well, Ric Flair will never join TNA because of this. They always bring up the WWE Hall of Fame. No one wants to jeopardize I can't believe Mick Foley joined TNA. He's not going to get in the Hall of Fame now. Do you think any of those guys give a fuck about their Hall of Fame? They have to sign over some licensing things, so they lose some of their character, and they get paid for it. When they get paid, that's money right there. That's all they care about. And it's usually when they're, done with their character, and, they're probably not going to, need it a whole lot anyway. And if you're smart like on Man, or if you're smart like Raven, you retain your character anyway.
Right, and that's another thing about pro wrestlers. I mean, people are gonna like bust on us for having a pro wrestling show. We talk about pro wrestling, but we're talking about a completely different side of the whole fucking thing, really. You know what I mean? We're talking about like this guy is suckering 10,000 guys out of their fucking money. He's drinking and fucking he's on crack. And like every degenerate thing you could do in the background, he's rocking, party Vikinging up in the background, taking your fucking money and telling you to suck his cock, and you love him for it. And that, I mean, to me, that's just great. I mean, he's totally owning these fucks, and and so that's when I'm talking about, that's what I'm thinking. They call these guys marks. Like, they're calling guys marks. They're calling these, just out in the open, they call their fans marks. I mean, you can't get more disrespectful than that.
Well, and here's the thing. Like, can you imagine somebody like Mick Foley has to sit in an interview with somebody and say, so, Mick, I mean, when you thought about joining TNA, did you realize how that might jeopardize your chances of being in the Hall of Fame later? You think Mick Foley gives a fuck about being in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, the Hall of Fame is not going to do him any good. I mean, no Hall of Fame really does anybody any good except to stroke their fucking ego, and that's it. So if you get in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, it's just an ego stroke. You're not getting anything. It's just like, okay, well, here I am. I'm going to be in this thing where they charge guys $50 to come in and look at statues. That's the Hall of Fame. That's it.
If Bruno Sammartino was good enough to be WWF champion for a combined 11 years, but he's not good enough to be in the Hall of Fame, then it says right there what a sham the Hall of Fame is. The Hall of Fame is the official Kiss My Ass Club. That's the real Kiss My Ass Club, because to get in it, you have to fucking blow Vince. And, I mean, some guys I'm sure, like, Vince is like, oh, hey, this guy, wrestled for me for a long time, or, hey, Triple H, my son-in-law really, really fucking has a hard-on for Harley Race, so I'll let him in. You know, he didn't rock the boat too much when he was here. I'll let him in. But